Welcome back to part 2 of that 2018 booking. Now it's Summer Team. Next up it's Backlash. 1. Backstreet Boys vs 5 for the Intercontinental Championship. 5 gets their rematch for the IC title at Backlash. But however, the Backstreet Boys retains. 2. Christina Aguilera vs John Cena for the United States Championship. John Cena wins the #1 contenders match at SmackDown against MCDT and Jamie Hager, and Piper Perabo lost the United States Championship to Christina Aguilera at Raw's Superstar Shake-Up. Since Christina has a long US title reign, I would have Christina Aguilera retain her title. 3. Ryan Palmer vs Cardi Prescott. Cardi attacks Ryan while he teams up with Brittany to face MCDT and Believe. But after the 11 minutes match, Random guesses enough to win for Ryan Palmer. After the match, Cardi Prescott attacks Ryan Palmer. This attack will continue their rivalry. 4. Britney Spears vs Taylor Yeager in a no DQ match for the WWE Championship. Taylor Yeager gets her rematch after her heel turn. But this match will end up with the draw, and that will be enough to continue their rivalry. 5. Lucy Cardiff and Byron Saxton vs Bethany Platt and Mandy Moore. Byron Saxton debuts to Raw as a babyface. I would have Lucy Cardiff and Byron Saxton to win clean. I would not have Byron Saxton to turn on Lucy Cardiff during the match. Finally, Little Mix vs the Spice Girls. The Spice Girls cost Little Mix the Universal Championship prison match against Barney at Greatest Royal Rumble. But Black Magic is enough to win for Little Mix. Next up it's Money in the Bank. 1. Ryan Palmer vs Cardi Prescott. Cardi Prescott cost Ryan Palmer during his Spelling Bee qualifying match against MCDT. Ryan Palmer wins clean to end their rivalry. 2. Byron Saxton vs Mandy Moore. Mandy Moore cost Byron Saxton the qualifying match against Bethany Platt. However, overhead belly to belly is enough to win for Byron Saxton. 3. Backstreet Boys vs Shane McMahon for the Intercontinental Championship. I think Shane needs a big push for their title reign. But he did not, as Backstreet Boys is able to retain their IC title. 4. Little Mix vs Piper Perabo. Piper Perabo cost Little Mix the qualifying match against Mandy Moore and Ed Sheeran. I would have to Little Mix to win clean. 5. Britney Spears vs Taylor Yeager in an executed match for the WWE Championship. Taylor Yeager earned a rematch again. But Britney Spears was managed to retain the WWE title to end her rivalry. Finally, the 8 Spelling Bee Man match. The contestants will be for the Spelling Bee Lucy Cardiff, Bethany Platt, Ed Sheeran, Jamie Hager, MCDT, the Spice Girls, Katie Ford, and 5. In the end, Lucy Cardiff ends up winning the 2018 Spelling Bee. I think she needs a big push, and that moment. Next up it's Extreme Rules. 1. Darren Hayes and Dave Ferguson vs Jason J. Brown and Richard Asprey for the Raw Tag Team Championships. Jay and Abs earned their tag title match. But however, I would have Jason J. Brown and Richard Asprey win the Raw Tag titles clean. 2. Ed Sheeran vs Tara Hawat. I think this match will be better. But after the 10 minutes match, Shape of You is enough to win for Ed Sheeran. 3. Christina Aguilera vs Taylor Yeager for the United States Championship. Taylor Yeager doesn't need that US title, but I would have Taylor Yeager to win her United States Championship by using the heel tactics. After the match, John Cena turned heel. 4. Lucy Cardiff vs Bethany Platt in a prison match. I think this match will be even worse. But however, Bethany Platt will get a huge win, due to the distraction from Tara Hawat. 5. LB and MC Juiceman vs Ryan Palmer and Joe Blizzard for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. LB and Juiceman cost Ryan Palmer during the gauntlet match. But however, due to the distraction from 5, LB and MC Juiceman retains. 6. Little Mix vs Byron Saxton. I would not have the number 1 contenders match for the Universal Championship. Instead will be a normal match. I would have Byron Saxton to win clean, so he can push to the Universal title hunt. 7. Britney Spears vs MCDT for the WWE Championship. MCDT wins the number 1 contender match at SmackDown against Adrian Everhart, Ryan Palmer, 5, and the Spice Girls. But Britney Spears was able to retain the WWE title. Finally, The Miz vs Backstreet Boys in an Iron Man match for the Intercontinental Championship. The Miz wins the IC title from Backstreet Boys due to the help from Faye Wills. But due to the distraction once again by Faye Wills, The Miz was cheated to retain his IC title by hitting them with the blue Lenovo tablet. Last hit SummerSlam. 1. The Miz vs Backstreet Boys for the Intercontinental Championship. Faye Wills will be in IC Champion's corner, as well as the returning Ella Henderson will be in Backstreet Boys' corner. I would have Backstreet Boys to regain their Intercontinental Championship to beat The Miz, with the help from Ella Henderson. 2. LB and MC Juiceman vs I5 for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. I5 wins the number 1 contenders match against Richie Neville and Scott Robinson. But I5 would win by disqualification, after I'd be stabbed Christina into the knife. 3. Lucy Cardiff vs Bethany Platt for the Spelling Bee Trophy. Tyra Hawat has Lucy Cardiff's punishment, as she forces Lucy to defend her Spelling Bee Trophy. But Lucy Cardiff is managed to keep her trophy, while Tyra Hawat is so furious. 4. Britney Spears vs the Spice Girls for the WWE Championship. I think Spice Girls needs to be in the WWE title hunt. But I would have Spice Girls to win by disqualification, and that will continue their rivalry between the two. 5. Ryan Palmer vs 5. 5 costed Ryan Palmer the tag titles at Extreme Rules. But however, I would have 5 win, due to the help from Elliot Kennedy, Tim Lever, and Mike Percy. 6. Ed Sheeran vs Tara Hawat. Ed and Tara gets their match. But however, Ed Sheeran will finally end his rivalry by winning his match. 7. Taylor Yeager vs Christina Aguilera for the United States Championship. Christina Aguilera gets her rematch at SummerSlam. But however, due to the distraction from John Cena, Taylor Yeager retains. And finally, Barney vs Little Mix for the Universal Championship. Little Mix finally gets her rematch at SummerSlam. But after the 15 minutes match, Little Mix finally ending Barney's Universal title reign. I would not have Lucy Cardiff to cash the Spelling Bee Trophy.